Welcome. So today we'll be drafting a princess that bustier. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit on the notification button to get notified each time I upload a new video. So we'll be starting by drawing out our shoulder measurement. You divide your shoulder measurement by 2 and mark. Then you come down by 1 inch. That is our shoulder slope. You can see what I'm doing. Then we'll be using neck width of 3.5 inches. You can make use of 3 inches, 4 inches, depending on the style, on what you want to do. So free to make use of your own measurement. So but this one I'm making use of 3.5 for my neck width. Then I will join it to the shoulder slope. Then the next thing to do is to draw my armhole measurement, which is 7 inches for my measurement, 7 inches. Then I always try to measure my shoulder measurement downwards to make sure my lines are straight. Then I'll be connecting it together. I'll connect it to the shoulder slope line. Then I will draw the line straight like this. I'll draw a straight line like this. This now becomes our chest line, seal. So I'll come and measure my measurements, my bust points of 10 inches, under bust of 3.5 inches, and my half length of 17 inches. Then I will draw out the line. I will rule out the lines like this. You can see what I'm doing. I'll draw the lines straight like this. This is the under bust line, and this is the half length line. So the next thing to do now is I want to add my allowance of 1 inch. I always make use of 1 inch allowance. You can make use of ½ inch, but I always make use of 1 inch. If it's too much, I can always trim it off instead of having shortage. So I always make use of 1 inch for my allowance. Then the next thing to do is to divide your nipple to nipple into 2, then add ½ an inch to it. Mine is 3.5, so I added ½ an inch, making it 4 inches. Then I will draw it all the way down from the bust point line to the allowance line. Then I will join the lines together like this. So the next thing to do after joining the lines together, at the side going to the armpit side, you mark 1.5 inch, 1.5 inch from the under bust to the half length line. So I decided to name it bust point, under bust, and our allowance line. That's the abbreviation of it, half length, for easy understanding. So at this side, like I said earlier on, at the side going to the armpit side, from the under bust line, you measure 1.5 inch all the way to the allowance line. Then you join the lines together like this. So you join it together like this. This is me making sure the lines are straight. Then at the center side, from the allowance line to the under bust line too, you measure ½ an inch and you connect it together like this. You join the lines together like this. Then from your bust point, you come down by 1 inch. You use your curved ruler to connect it like so. You connect it like this. Then the other side, you also use your curved ruler to connect like so. So the next thing after doing this is to divide your armhole measurement by 2. But first of all, let's come up by 1 inch. Remember, we came down by 1 inch, but we are also coming up by 1 inch also. We'll come up by 1 inch also, and we connect it together like this. Then the next thing to do is to go down to your armhole measurement. You divide it by 2. Whatever you get, you divide by 2 and mark. Then you come in by 1/2 inch. From that point, you mark. After marking, then you divide your bust. At the chest line, you divide your bust measurements into 4 and mark. Bust measurement into 4. You join the lines together, the 3 dots. You join it together using your curved ruler like so. You can see what I'm doing. Just do what I'm doing. You can see what I'm doing. With your own measurements, you divide your bust line, bust measurements by 4 at the chest line and mark. Then you join the 1/2 inch line you came in. You join the 3 lines with the shoulder line, shoulder slope line. You join it like so, so it will be looking like this. Then after that, you measure again. Carefully, you measure it like so. After taking your measurements, whatever you get, you divide by 2 and mark. That will now be your center line. You mark, then you join it together with the 1 inch line we came in by. We join the line like so. Why we came in by 1 inch upwards and 1 inch downwards is to make your bust to sit properly, for it not to be pointed. To make it sit properly, for it not to be pointed. So I'm just trying to use my curved ruler to blind it together, to curve it a little bit. So after that, the next thing to do is to come out from that line you joined it together. Now we are going to come out from that armpit line, 1/2 inch on both sides. We'll mark at 1/2 inch on both sides. So if you're on a big size, you can use 0.7, but we are coming in by 1/2 inch on both sides. So this 1 inch we came up by, we're going to be joining it together like so. We'll join it together like so. So the next thing to do is to, okay, I'm done with the other side. I was using the wrong side of the ruler, so I was like, why is it not connecting? I just noticed and have to correct it. So you connect it together like this. Like this. So the next thing to do is to remember that's 1/2 inch we took. We're going to replace it. That's 1 inch. We'll replace it upwards. Then we also replace it at the chest line. Then this now becomes our new armhole measurement. You join it together like this. So this automatically becomes our new armhole measurement. Then we'll be adding our sewing allowance of 1.5 inch. Then after adding your allowance, you come down to your half length line. You divide your half length into four, your round half length, and mark. Then you replace the dart you took of 2 inches, 1.5 inch upwards and half inch downwards. You replace it and add your sewing allowance of 1.5 inch and join the lines together with the allowance line. Then you now join this with the bust point line. Then you now connect the lines together like so. I hope you are understanding what I'm saying. Please, if you have any question, please just write it on the comment section. I promise to reply you to the best of my knowledge. So the next thing to do is to mark out our neck depth. I'm using 3.5 inch for this tutorial, so I'll just mark and use my curved ruler to connect. So as you can see what I'm doing. If you want a round neck, if you want a v-neck, a queen A neckline, it depends on what you want. So but this is what I'm using a round measurement for this, round neck measurement for this tutorial. So the next step is to cut it out. You can see what I'm doing. I started from the allowance line to cut it off, so just carefully cut it out. You can see what I'm doing. You carefully cut it, carefully. You don't need to rush anything, just carefully cut it out. So this is the way I cut my own princess dart bustier. This is what works for me, and the result is always perfect. So you carefully cut it out like so. You cut it out like so. So we are done with that one. Just trim off that place and keep it aside. Then you carefully cut it out. You can see what I'm doing. I'm starting from that center side, from that half inch we came in. So you carefully cut it out. You carefully cut it out like so. So at this point, I remember that I did not add my shoulder allowance, so because we won't be adding any allowance again after this, so I just added half of an inch. If you should use this method and add the allowances that I added, there's no need for you to add any other allowance when you're cutting out your pattern on your fabric. So I decided to cut it out so that I won't be needing any other allowance again. No. So I joined it together like this before cutting. You can see what I'm doing. So you cut it out like so. Carefully cut it out. So we are done. Remember, this center neck side is on fold, when you are cutting on your fabric. So I noticed that this video is too long and it's very difficult for me to upload, so I did another video on how to cut the back. Thank you for watching.